You're now locked into a special episode of Tapping with Kemia Adrian. I'm the girl Kemia Adrian, and today we have hip hop and R&B recording artist Layna Lae on the line. What's good, Lay?
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm good, good. Thanks so much for asking. Thanks so much for tapping in with me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Super, super. Okay, and so as you know, we will be highlighting women in music. So let's start off with you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about you.
Huh? Well, my name is Layna Lae. I'm a hip hop and R&B recording artist from the DMV area. I've been doing music for about 3 years now. I got into music kind of on a dare. It was really crazy, but I've always appreciated music, always loved music, no matter what, I've always had music. So I have like a deep affection for it. I appreciate it a whole lot. So yeah, I'm just, riding this wave, see where it goes. You never know what can happen.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you said you got into it with a dare. Elaborate on that a little bit for me.
Oh gosh. So well, being one of my very, very, I can't call her a friend because she's always gonna be more than that. But we got into it, like most folks do when they disagree. And I jacked up and I felt kind of bad. So she was like, okay, you want to make it up to me, write me a song. And I'm like, write you a song? I ain't never wrote no song. I used to mess around, but I ain't never, officially wrote a song. I used to mess around writing stories in school and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, all right, whatever. She's gonna see this is terrible, and yeah, we'll probably never ask her this again. So I wrote the song. I wrote it, and even to me, it wasn't that bad. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I didn't even know you could write like this. Da, da, da. You should really try this out." And I'm like, nah, there's much better artists out there, in my opinion, at that time. And she was just like, no, you should try it. So I just kept going with it, it kept developing, and then, here I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, you took a hiatus in 2019. How was that experience like for you when you took that break and came back?
When I took that hiatus, I would say I was kind of at a loss. I wasn't sure how to move forward. I honestly just, straight up didn't know what to do with my life. So I just kind of tried out other things. I tried out the other side of the music industry. Like I started helping curate a playlist for a radio show. I started helping, with promo for artists and that kind of stuff. And I will say that doing that kind of gave me more appreciation for what I was doing. I didn't really realize, how serious it was, how much these artists were really putting into this, how much they wanted this. And I will say that I got inspired by that, by their courage. Because, you never know what can happen. You could be doing all of this for nothing or all of it for everything. And, at the same time, I've always been a very pessimistic person where I'm like, nah, it's not going to work out for me. Just because it worked out for them don't mean it's going to work out that way for me. But I see that, anything is possible, especially with the man upstairs. And I have 100% belief in that. So it really inspired me and encouraged me to, get back into my music.
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, and you're one of the few artists that I hear about that are not, out there rapping about what's between their legs. Like, what is generally the message in your music, would you say? What message are you trying to get out there?
I try to touch on real life stuff. I try to be as relatable as possible because I notice that even with myself, if I listen to something and somebody says a line, I'm like, ooh, like, yeah, I can, and after that, I just, naturally I just start rolling with it more. So I feel like, I want to relate to people. I want folks to know that this is not all peaches and cream. I want folks to know that I'm just as human as you are. I'm just, I have a different career but that doesn't make me no better or no less than you. So that's why I want to spread that message. Like I want to be positive. I want folks to know, like, we go through this too. If folks can't relate to having Lambos and $50,000, $60,000 jewelry and big ass houses, folks can't relate to that, but they can relate to, everyday stuff of paying bills, somebody did them wrong, life struggles, family struggles, stuff like that. And, and that's the stuff outside of the, the music and all that. That's the stuff I go through too. And I want to relate to people.
I love
So
it.
or relatable, but at the same time, I want to be encouraging in my music. If there's something out there that you want, go for it. The worst people who's going to be in your ear, unfortunately, is family and friends, and that's going to really put us down because that's who we're going to listen to. But what you really, honestly, what I even had to learn for myself is that you got to believe in yourself. You got to have confidence and faith that it's going to work out, and you got to put the work and effort into it and have the mindset to really go after your goal. Like, don't let nobody distract you from your dream. That's what you want. You need to go for it.
I love it. Absolutely 100 on that one. Let me ask you, do you think there's a lot of pressure on indie artists? Like, do social media put a lot of pressure? Because you have to, dedicate time to working on your music, but then it seems like you have to, spend just as much or even more time on just social media. Do you think the social media part of the marketing or trying to get yourself out there more so, in better words, do you think that takes away from you dedicating your time to making your music?
I definitely do believe it's time consuming. So it's definitely nice to have a team, to have somebody who's, with you 100% and who's willing to help you, because it's a lot, and at the end of the day, you're one person. So, I'm pretty sure aside from your music career, you have a life and responsibilities of your own. So it can be overwhelming, and you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to make something that you love so much a negative experience. So it is best to have a team, even if you have to do it independently. I'm not saying you got to go sign to a big label and have that big machine. Although I'm not saying that's not beneficial, because it really is. But I just think the artists have more creative control. They have more control over their career. But at the end of the day, no matter what, you should always have a team. I think that's very vital, and that's very important, and that's crucial to your success, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if you could pick 3 artists out there, who would you say are influencing you the most right now?
Well, one I would say is DaBaby. And the reason I say that is because of his energy and his music. He's, inspired me to come out of my shell and to honestly have fun with this. And I just like how he's so honest and he's so true to himself. Even if it's not perfect 100% of the time, I respect that, because nobody's perfect. And that's not realistic if you just showing that you're perfect all the time. Now, we've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we're not proud of. So that's why I can relate to him very much. Another one of my inspirations, I would say, is Drake, and he just inspired me because I'm a very emotional person, and from what I see, he is as well. So I can relate to him a lot, and it's just very impressive that he's able to maintain his career for so long and still be so, so relevant, still be so out there. Mm-hmm. And that just goes to show that that's just hard work. That's just dedication. And to have it for that long, that's inspiring and that's encouraging. And that just goes to show that if you really want something and you keep pushing for it, it's going to happen, and it's going to stay. But a third one that I would say is Cardi B, and not necessarily because of her music, but because of her work ethic and her honesty. She's always kept it real about what she's going through in this music industry. And she gets a lot of hate, but she still perseveres. She still keeps pushing. She still tries to keep a smile on her face.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just always something controversial. Even, for celebrity artists out there, it's like their personal life just gets so intertwined with their, with their music career. Like, even going back to DaBaby, that statement he made on one of his concert shows, how you see how they just took that and they just like ripped it apart. And it's like, wow. And the backlash is like, oh, an eye opener. Like, what is your feedback on everything going on with DaBaby right now?
That's a touchy topic. And it's hard, because it's like some parts of it is wrong on his part and some part of it is wrong on the response, the audience, the folks who are reacting to it. So I'm gonna start off by saying that what he said was very insensitive. I feel like he shouldn't have gone up there and said that. That's just something you should have kept to yourself. I also feel like it wasn't worded correctly. But at the same time, he never technically said that the LGBT community are carriers of these diseases. It's just that he said that statement about HIV at first and then followed up with a statement, regarding a homosexual man. And I think they just merged them together. But if you honestly listen and pay attention, he never said that, because you like this person or you like that person, you got this disease. He never said that. what he said was still, insensitive, borderline ignorant. But I think the response is totally uncalled for. And I think that he should have just right away apologized. It's not worth it's not worth all this. It's honestly not. And sometimes, even though it may seem like you're not being true to yourself, it's just best to just put yourself in other people's shoes and see how certain folks may be receiving what you're saying. Like, daggone, like one of my fans could have been dealing with this battle. They could have been about to lose their life. And one of their biggest things was to come see me. And I go and say something like that. Like that will hurt, seriously. So I can understand people being outraged. But going to this extent to, do him like that, no, that's totally uncalled for. And I feel like everybody's just hopping on the baby hate train right now and just, getting promo off of his backlash, really. And instead of just taking the time to really tell him, like, bro, like what you said was wrong, instead of, and they say, oh, you grown, you supposed to know this, but no, we never stop learning. Just because we age does not mean we know everything. And I honestly felt like he didn't really realize the extent of his words, like the impact.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some people have come forward and, actually you did the mature thing. Instead of just tearing him down, they were the bigger person and sat him down, was like, bro, you can't be saying stuff like that. That was insensitive. And you look at it and you show him different angles, it's going to click, and that works. I feel like that happens for a lot of people. Even for me, it's like you may not even realize what you were doing until somebody actually sets you down. And that takes a mature and, respectable person.
Yeah.
But I honestly hope at the end of the day it blows over. I honestly hope that he learns from this experience as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because now he's getting dropped from all these festivals. They're going to really start messing up his bag. So it's like, wow, lesson learned. Lesson learned. It's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. It just, at the end of the day, I think it's just like, if there's a possibility that you're going to offend somebody with what you're going to say, just keep it to yourself. It's best to just not say anything at all. Can't nobody hold nothing over your head if you didn't say anything. So yeah, at the end of the day, and I hope he learned it. He sees that now, like, yeah, some things it's just not worth it.
I love it. Have you ever been put in a situation where someone has taken your words and misconstrues it all up? Like,
a lot, not on social media or anything, but yeah. And but at the same time, I have been put in situations where I said something that was kind of out of line and I didn't see it. I'm like, no, I didn't say that because I know truthfully my intentions were good. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. But, it took that person telling me, hey, such, this is how it looks from someone else's shoes. And it really taught me to really start putting myself in other people's shoes. And now that I have, it really makes me mindful of what I say, because I'm like, what if I was that person and he or she said that to me? How would I receive that? And that helps me, moving forward, and making decisions.
I love it. I love it. That was so human of you. Now you gotta put that in the song. I love it. Speaking of, what are you working on? Like, are you working on any new music, any collaborations coming up? Like, what's going on with you right now?
I definitely am working on my debut mixtape, so I'm very excited about that. I've been wanting to release a mixtape for a while. I got some collaborations in the works. I've been trying to collaborate with more female artists. I generally collaborated with male artists in the past, and I wanted to, expand that, because I didn't really have many collaborations. So definitely, more of that, and I'm excited for that. What I got coming up is my next single will be dropping soon, very soon. So I'm excited for that.
Okay, I won't pick you for a date just yet. That's fine. Well, thank you. It's such a pleasure speaking with you. I really appreciate you tapping in with me. Before you go, is there anything else you want to plug, or where can everyone connect with you on the socials and check out your music?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on all social media at The Real Layna Lae, the word THE, real REAL, Layna Lae, LAYNALAE. My music is on all major streaming platforms. So, pretty much wherever you listen to music, you can find me at LAYNALAE. Just search that up and all my music will come up. You can also check out my website at the same name, LaynaLae.com. And yeah, you can check that out and see what I got coming up and what I got in the works.
Love it. Oh, thank you so much for tapping in with me. It was such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. you.